Alright, so what we're going to do here is some dissection of a good looking heart. So for the number one, what we're going to start out with is the apex. And the apex is the pointy part at the bottom. And basically the left ventricle makes most of this up. And two, we're going to go to the base. The base kind of goes where the blood goes in and out of the heart through. And the atrium makes the right atrium makes most of this up. And then the auricle are these little flappy things that kind of look like ears. Flaps looks like ears. And then the coronary arteries are a branch from the aorta that kind of supplies the blood at the heart with the blood. And then we have the interventricular septum, and that is the wall between the right and left ventricles. And the trabeculae cornae are the folds in the ventricular walls. They're kind of looks like roast beef a little bit, but they're the folds in there. I know that probably doesn't make you want to eat roast beef anymore. So then next we're going to go into the chordae tendineae, and those are the cords that connect the bicuspid valves to the papillary muscles. So they're right in there. Okay. And then number 8, we have the papillary and the chordae tendineae. They're kind of those little stringy looks in there. And then for the papillary muscles, they're kind of the anchor of the chordae tendineae, and they're kind of like they're the base of it. They're kind of the connecting to the chordae tendineae. All right. So next, what we're going to go through is the blood flow and kind of show the more of the internal structures of the heart. What we're going to start with is the superior and inferior vena cava, and kind of where we have the tweezers right here. This is where the superior vena cava, and it will go all the way down to the inferior vena cava, and both kind of return deoxygenated blood to the right atrium. This is the right atrium right here. Sorry, I'm still trying to learn my right and left. This is the right atrium. The superior kind of brings it more of the upper body, and the inferior kind of brings more of the lower body. So next what we have is the right atrium, which is this one right here. And this will receive deoxygenated blood from the body. And going from the right atrium to the right ventricle, in between here, right here, we have the tricuspid valve, which prevents backflow into the right atrium. So then right after that we have the right ventricle, and this is the bottom chamber of the heart that pumps deoxygenated blood to the lungs. When it contracts, it sends blood through the pulmonary valve, which also is called the semilunar valve, and it's opened increased blood pressure of ventricle. So right in here is going to be the pulmonary valve. And then the pulmonary arteries kind of carry the deoxygenated blood from the atrium. Okay, I'm sorry about that. The smell's kind of getting to me a little bit. It's the ventricles to the lungs for the pulmonary arteries. And the pulmonary veins carry the oxygenated blood back to the heart from the lungs. Alright, so next what we're going to start is the left atrium. This is this small area right here. And that carries oxygenated blood that kind of re-enters the heart here. And we'll go to the bicuspid valve, also called the mitral valve, which has 2 cusps. So this is going to be kind of in here, if you kind of can see that going all the way up. That is going to be the bicuspid valve down into this big, huge thing. This is also going to be the left ventricle. This is also called the largest chamber of the heart with the thickest muscle walls. When it contracts, blood is pumped through the aortic valve and then into the aorta right up here. This whole thing is kind of the aorta, and it kind of branches into 3 arteries, including the brachiocephalic trunk, is this area right here, and then the left subclavian and the left common carotid. And with the brachiocephalic trunk, the right subclavian artery, and the right common carotid.